Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Modcast, episode 52.
Woohoo!
Alright, so, breaking news to all of our listeners, all two of you, very recent events that transpired 4.5 months ago.
This is really some cutting-edge breaking news here.
All of us had resigned as moderators on the TTV message boards at board.ttvchannel.com.
Sign up now using
now to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We had a mass mod exodus back in March 2018, and it was basically because we were all dead inside and we didn't want to moderate the boards anymore.
Yeah.
But looking back at the boards, I haven't really been too active. Once I resigned, my activity dropped off. I don't know how true that is of you guys. Like, have you been keeping up with what's been happening on the boards at all?
Totally. I'm so active. I think my last post is from like 2 or 3 months ago. I don't even know.
I've been keeping marginally active on the boards since I left.
Oh, it's only from 1 month ago. Wow, I'm such a heavy user.
I've posted a few things here and there. For the first couple months, really, after leaving, I was still fairly active. I've since been a little bit less active, but I still like to think that I'm around in the community. Because, like, that's the thing, is that a lot of people don't realize is that there's a big difference between just browsing boards and actually actively moderating. And it's public perception, too, that it's just like, you get seen as the no fun night that, like, okay, well, you always gotta adhere to the rules and, you know, no fun allowed when the mods are around, that kind of stuff. It's not that big of a deal, but it kind of wears down on you over the course of 3 years, or 4 years for some of us.
Oh, no, definitely. The thing about moderating, especially, is that most people know who you are, like your name at least. And so it's like a double-edged sword. You get to be known more in the community, but that could go either ways, positive or negative. People can get very upset at you, even though you're just trying to do your job, trying to instigate the rules. You have some person blatantly disregarding it, and you can get into some kerfuffles, and people can just get really mad for some reason. Not having to deal with users, net positive, honestly. And also, like, the boards as a platform to advertise modularity has kind of lessened, as not many people usually check that topic anymore. Like, I think a lot of people migrated to Discord from the boards, and so there's, like, a lot of Discord servers around. Because the boards didn't used to be this way, where there's less activity going on, at least for me.
You say less activity, I mean, from your own personal perspective perhaps, but I think the boards are still just as active, if not more active, than they were back when they started in 2014. It's just a matter of who is active on them.
Yeah, I think so.
I have been on the TTV message boards since August 4th, 2014. So I've been around for a while. And, like, out of the people that I know from back then, and out of the people who I know who are active now, there's very few people who have actually stuck around this whole time that are still active in non-private message context. Willis is still around.
Shout out to Willis. You won a modularity modcast, no prize.
Yeah, Willis, if you're out there, please contact us for your prize. You win a singular stud that will be given to you within the next 10 years.
And you have to pay for shipping.
No. I'll give it to him in person. A lot of the people that I hang out with are people who I met through the TTV message boards, and not many of those people are still active. And the reasons that people give for not being active anymore is always, oh, the boards are toxic, or oh, all these garbage new users, and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah, I have heard that kind of thing being said. I know that there was definitely a point where we did get an influx of new users, and we'd always kind of grown because new users often never read the rules, and so they would constantly double post and blatantly disregard mod messages. So, like, I can understand people saying that sort of thing, but maybe the new users have gotten a bit better.
No.
I don't know. It's hard to gauge, rather. There are not as many notable people, at least that I have in my mind. And it's probably because back when we did join, there weren't that many people on it. There was a very tight-knit community, I guess. But as the boards would grow, and especially I think When did it reach critical mass, would you say? It was like
2016.
2016? Yeah, I think.
Maybe late
yeah,
2015.
I'd
It used to be like in the olden days of 2014, 2015 that there would be like a singular user who would be a problem, and we would just sort of laugh at them, point at them, and say, be like, haha, look at this guy's stupid and funny. And then it just started being that there would be lots of users that were of a lesser degree annoying, but more of them. And in fact, being of a lesser degree annoying is actually more annoying, because if you're only breaking one rule like occasionally, it's more annoying than just a user who breaks all the rules at once, because someone who's like that, you're like, okay, well, clearly you can just go ahead and ban them.
But then there was Toa Red Pins, and his whole escapade where he would just like create a bunch of duplicate accounts that were not even that well hidden as far as the name of them. Like, he was Toa of Red Pins, and then he'd just replace it with Toa of Tan Pins.
Toa Blue Pins.
Yeah, it's just like, alright, man, you do what you want.
And he'd like post in the introduce yourself topic being like, hey, so the mods banned my last account, but I'm here now. And it's like, alright, dude, thanks. You're banned again. For longer this time.
I love it when people out themselves.
Yeah.
So when the Matoro movement, especially,
yeah,
like, I think it was the Crusader, that was his dupe account name. And he was on there for like a month, acting as a regular user, not causing any trouble. And then just one day, he sends us a PM. It's like, hey, I'm Matoro movement. And then
we went all Deus Volt on him.
That was ridiculous.
Hey, guys, do you remember that one time where we said we wouldn't talk about our favorite and least favorite users on the TTV message?
Ancient history.
Yeah, it was like, who is your favorite band users? And we were like, no, we can't do that. We're stoic moderators. We can't.
Well, now we're not mods.
We're just, yeah, that's true.
Our chains are unlinked.
We can double post and we'll get in trouble, but we'll still do it because we're edgy rebels now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We made the rules.
Sometimes I just look back and I look at different rules and like topics and stuff and be like, oh wow, that was me.
Yeah, and sometimes I look back and remember how there weren't any rules at all. When I joined as a mod, we didn't have a fan club rule yet, but people kept making these fan club topics, like
oh yeah,
the AVAC fan club topic, and it was just a picture of AVAC. And then people went and praised AVAC. I don't remember if I instigated that rule or somebody else did. I think Star Power might have, or Crunchbite, which, by the way, yeah, there were other mods besides us, and they had all left for one reason or another.
Shoutouts to Scar and Nyrin. I love you guys. You guys are cool.
Shout out to Zahaki for being your gracious moderator for a whole week.
Shout out to Keeney, who single-handedly stopped my crusade to completely obliterate and just delete the entirety of the RP subform. Because I was just like, do we really need this? I don't really feel like we need the role-playing category.
Marp disagrees.
I know.
I do recall, like, some instances of wanting to get some topics closed just because they had been lingering on for too long and had been festering, not really adding anything, like the Control V topic.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the Control V topic.
Which lasted for 5,000 posts and was just spam. We allowed it to live for so long, but that's just because people were posting on it every minute. It was basically where you would
paste whatever you had on your
paste whatever you had on your Control V key shortcut. It's like just a flood of random stuff. I mean, I did participate as well though, so like maybe I'm being a bit of a hypocrite, but even I admit that it was spam. And then we killed it. Is the relationship topic still open?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it is.
Oh,
is it? The talking to women topic is not open.
That one got nuked a long time ago. But now there's one just called the relationship topic.
I think I mentioned it briefly at once, how I think that topic is just all kinds of terrible. When people talk about their own life, I think there was, or maybe is still a topic like that, like what's going on in your life. I did close it, yes.
Hey, okay.
Alright, this one lasted for 1,000 post, and it was just people talking about whatever, their own life. Not to say that people don't live interesting lives or there isn't stuff to talk about, but the thing about topics is that there need to be more specific. When we allow for things that are too terribly general that can lead to all sorts of random things, we just end up with spam. That's why we have categories and subcategories. Some people don't understand that though. Like, people want just random stuff, but that's why we have the highly coveted, highly suspect hideout.
It's the best place to be. Definitely not just a refuse of garbage at this point.
It's just a place for masters on the boards, which is like, the more frequently you visit the boards and the more active you are, the higher ranking you basically get. The highest is master, but it's the only rank that you can lose. Like, if you're not keeping up with whatever the requirements are, you'll just lose it. So it's just a bunch of masters in this spam hole that is called the highly suspect hideout, where the rules really don't apply, but they still kind of do. But you can't get away with everything on the highly suspect hideout.
Almost anything.
At one point or another, there was a topic in the highly suspect hideout that was like this sign up for, you can be a guest star on the TTV podcast if you're a master. One of the reasons that we made modularity at the time, TTV Modcast, is because we were kind of disgruntled. TTV just would not allow us to guest star on their podcast, and at the time we all really wanted to. There were some plans, but alas, they did not come to fruition. So, at least at this point in time, I don't think any of us really would want to. I'm not sure though. Like, I don't know, what would you say?
If I was asked, I might, but I wouldn't actively go out of my way.
No way, TTV sucks now. No, if asked, I might, but I don't know. I also kind of like keeping a low profile, which is why I haven't gone on LJ's show.
The message boards, it was a good place to make friends at that point in time. 2014 to 2016, I want to say. There's still people that I talk to from the message boards from that time.
On the one hand, I agree, but on the other hand, there are a few people I have met, not necessarily through the boards, but especially through TTV's patron chat, like Peelcar. Didn't really know Peelcar before last year, and now, I wouldn't say I'm like huge friends with him, but I'm decently good friends with him. Or like Kazapar.
When I was a video editor for TTV, Kaz and Zeros, I definitely became better friends with them. Okay, so we got new moderators, obviously. We passed on our hammers to new mods. Bionite, Reese, Spiderus, Prime, Cocoa, and Prentice1215. They are now the moderators. I think they might be doing a good job. I asked Reese in person when I was at Brick Fair, Virginia, and he said that he hadn't been on the boards for a while, like he was taking a break. So I don't know if the boards have low-key gone into chaos.
Gone to Keck.
I hate Keck!
There is no heart in Keck.
Can I go into like the me making topics that were like popular thing? I was making the community mocks for a while, which I still do plan on finishing my list at some point. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but like I was making community mocks where it was like anyone who posted in the topic got a mock made of themselves. It wouldn't always necessarily be a mock they wanted or expected, but hey, it was something. I had my comic that I did. It's a boards thing.
Oh, yes.
Which I really did like making that, but I couldn't make it with the current climate of the boards because it's a different community and there's not as many in-jokes as there once was. That, and also I was transitioning it into being like a more serious, like story-driven thing, and then I didn't actually follow through on that.
At the end of your boards thing comic, you started to do these edits into prior issues of this character with like spikes on it. Like, what was that all about, Slime? Is it just
I have no
mystery?
idea what you're talking about.
Dang it, Slime. I know. I let the people know through imagery.
A lot of those sorts of things that I was doing was actually very cynically so that I could become a moderator. Because...
And it's freaking work, too.
Yeah. Not to say that I didn't care about the community, because I did. I did enjoy everything that I make, and I did legitimately mean everything that I said. September or October, Nyron became a mod alongside Indy, and both of them were members of the CHC, the Cliff Force crew at the time, of which I was a member of as well. And I was like, dude, what the heck? I'm a member too. I knew the reason Indy got in was because he had a connection with the former TTV member who shall not be named. And like Nyron got in because he was popular and active in the community. And I was like, well, if Nyron can get in, it's because he's popular and active in the community, why not me?
It all makes sense now. I remember when you were hired, there was some discussion prior saying, like, is this slime guy any good? And I was like, yeah, man, he's, like, really good. He has all these topics, and he's really cool. I've talked to him, and...
And the reason I talked to you is so I could gain the friendship of the moderators so that they would be willing to... Not a lot of people know this, unless you watched LJ's stream, which, if you're watching this, you probably have, but I don't know you, I don't know your life. Maybe you're just watching this because Christian Faber shared this. Shout out to Christian Faber
Shared this specific episode.
This specific
that
episode.
has nothing to do with Bionicle.
Well, now see, now you've said the word Bionicle, there's buzzword there.
Oh yeah, now we can market it.
I was, back when we were all mods, the only moderator who had actually asked to become a moderator and got in. We always told people that if you asked to be a moderator, you were almost guaranteeing yourself to not get in, because if you've got the gumption to just be like, hey, can you make me a moderator? Then that's automatically qualifying you for, like, not moderator stuff. But I was the exception to that because I had engineered a plan where I could manipulate myself into the system over the course of several months. As soon as Nyron became a mod, I started to do stuff, and then, like, I became a mod in, like...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Mod Squad video came out.
Yeah.
Like, if people don't know what that is, you explained yourself, Slime.
I created a YouTube video where basically I edited the faces of the current mod squad at the time onto the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Like their avatars.
Yeah, the avatars. I created it for the mods, and the mods were like, wow, this is really cool, because the mods weren't really, like, appreciated or anything. And so then, I became friends with all the mods, and then I gained their trust, and then I asked to become a mod, became a mod, and it was everything I dreamed it would be. Just
what did you dream it to be, Slime?
I don't know. I wanted
to
to police the boards and hang out with cool dudes, and that's what we did. The boards, as much as what they are now, what they were then, I am very glad that they exist, and for better or for worse, I'm very glad, legitimately, that this whole thing has happened. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really talked to you as much, Waj, and I wouldn't really talk to you as much, John. I still don't really talk to Indy, Krunk, and LM because they're never online anymore.
Rip.
One of my closest friends right now is Oculus Nova, both online and offline, because we live relatively close geographically. We first met each other coincidentally, not even realizing we were both there at Brick Fair, New England, and now it's like, hey, we just hang out with each other, and it's cool. If the boards hadn't existed, the Minecraft Metro Nui topic wouldn't have been formed, the CHC wouldn't have been formed, and I would have never had any reason to meet this kid who is named Axon126. That's just crazy to think about how much this website has actually changed the course of my life.
So much of my life in the last couple of years has been predicated on that one decision that I made 4 years ago to send an application to this channel that I'd never actually listened to before. The TTV channel, I sent them my casting call application. That's what led me to become a moderator, was my interview with TTV. All of this was predicated on that. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm just so, I guess, happy that I made that decision, because it's just been great, honestly. Like, wouldn't have it any other way. The experiences that we've had on the boards, the friends we've made, getting too sappy, man, getting too emotional. But John, what do you think about the boards? Where are you
Boards
at?
Killed my baby. They ruined my life. I hate everyone I know from them. I wish I could go back in time 4 years and nuke the boards. Nuke the world, even, you might say.
Dude, TTV sucks. Hashtag TTV is over party. Oh my gosh. Alright, bye-bye, everyone. Goodbye. Hello. Goodbye.
Hail Iron. Hail Iron.
Oh.
Hail Iron. Hail Iron.
Don't forget Ingram.